Hey, yo, what it is and what's good, y'all? Welcome back to 280 Plus, the social media podcast where I take the conversations off the timeline and go beyond the tweets. I'm your host, Lowe's Def, and this is a special episode, another recap episode of Suburban Screams, right?
You're getting it right. Yep.
John Carpenter's Suburban Screams, and I'm here with my co-host, Jonni. We are covering episode 3 called The House Next Door. You know what I'm saying? So so you watched this episode. Did this one kind of pick up for you, or was it?
I liked it.
I liked it too. I enjoyed it. And I got some. I know you're a researcher, so I was wondering if you did any research. But I did look up some. I found some like Reddit posts that was talking about this particular episode, and we can kind of get into that a little bit. But I'm about to pull up my notes here.
Yeah, give them a summary.
All right. So this episode called The House Next Door, it takes place in Hamul, which is in San Diego County, California, right? And this took place back in like 1986. So it's about this guy. His name is Dr. Torrence Temple, right? But they call him just Torrence, whatever. And at the time, obviously, he was a kid. So he talked about how he grew up in this really beautiful neighborhood in San Diego, and how there was always this house that was like, it just seemed a little bit eerie, and it was, nobody lived in it for a long time. When he did know somebody to live in it, the little girl that was his friend, her name was Jennifer or Jenny, and she disappeared or something happened to her. And then he said that the family like vanished after that. Like he never knew. So this is him going off of his childhood memory. But then a new family moves in, and he just felt like, this house though just had something going on with it. Like just had bad omens. Like we don't know if it's a spirit or anything like that, but he just felt like it just gave bad vibes. Right. And he was just talking about how like, every neighborhood has that one house that is just like you might cross the street and go around it, you know what I mean? Because it's a little bit creepy. So before we get into the episode, I kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit. So like, Jonni, like, is there any house that you grew like, in your neighborhoods growing up that was like, you just kind of like stayed away from? Maybe there was like an urban legend or a story that people were like, yo, this is haunted, or somebody died here, or just some, wild stuff, creepy stuff, whatever. Like, did that exist for you at all?
There was one house. I went to Smith. So everybody that went to Smith don't know what I'm talking about, what house I'm talking about. It wasn't the house on the corner, but it was the house. Like if Smith is on a big old hill. So it has a street that goes up and it leads to the school. It's like a middle school. Well, it's not middle school anymore, but yeah. So it's not the house on the corner, but it's the house. Like if you will go down the hill, the second street, not the street that Smith is on. So on the corner, they used to always say, because I think it was a guy, but I think he was like alone. Like you never seen a woman there. And they used to say stuff about him. It's not really like horror, but like they used to say he was like a child molester, or like, yeah. But it was weird because I think they just made that up because he would have like flowers in his backyard. He took really nice care of it, but he was just kind of like a creepy old man. So I think that was like the story that ran with it.
Okay.
But when you told me to like think of a place that I thought was like scary, I automatically thought of the old prison out east.
Oh,
my good school. Yeah. Because people used to go in there. I want to say I did when I was little. I went in there one time and it was definitely scary. So
is it still like, because it was abandoned for a long time, but is it still like a building? Is it still up? Like, or because I know they're doing a lot of stuff over in that area. They're doing a lot of
I don't think they did anything with the building yet.
See, and like that makes you think like, why not? You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes like, is there some type of,
Yeah, because it's right by the elementary school, then it's right by the lofts. Why would y'all not? And then they tore the rest of that block down for real. So why did y'all not touch that?
I know. So yeah, I don't know what they holding that onto that building for, but yeah, like that would be creepy. And obviously, I don't even know when that prison would have closed or whatever, but
yeah, because it was definitely before my time.
Yeah, way before my time. So probably some foul play at some point in time. But so yeah, I definitely have a house, like, and there's even and I think a lot of it was like an urban legend, but I'm not too sure. So I grew up So and obviously, you know, for my audience, we're talking about we're talking about our home city, you know what I mean, York, PA.
Like seven
And
miles.
yeah, I mean, so it's a small town, a small city. But if you live, and so people that lived on the south side of town, if you live by Norm's Tavern or the Yellow Store, right? So it's, you know, Prospect Street turns into College Avenue. And so like College Avenue, right before you hit the 200 block of Pine Street. I grew up on Pine Street. There
Mm-hmm.
was a lady, right, that we called, and she, and I don't know what her real name was, but I was a young kid. We called her Miss Hooker, right? So it was this older black lady, right? She used to dress in all red all the time, right? Like, yeah, I mean, she was like kind of like just she just had this like mean aura. Like she would have like a red cane or a red umbrella, red raincoat, whatever, hat, these dark glasses, right? And her house, right? When you walk past her house, it was like this like makeshift looking like red paint on it. It looked like just somebody just like it wasn't a finished job. It just looked crazy. She had these blackout windows. Um, you know, the house was kind of decrepit a little bit. Like there were just certain things that just needed repair. And like, yo, whenever you was on the block, like you just never wanted to like run into her or whatever. Like if you seen her, like you was turning around, all that type of stuff, or like you would try to ride your bike like, you know, around it, and it was creepy. It was creepy. So but like everybody knew her as like Miss Hooker or whatever. And so like you can go to like the back of her house, and like the garage was like real creepy, and like there was like kind of like a place where you could kind of look into, and like, you know, you would dare your friends to like look in there, and like it just like any type of running that you had with her, it just like it made you feel weird. It made you feel awkward.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I wonder if it's like now today, I'm thinking like, man, what if this was somebody's, this is probably somebody's grandma that we know,
Dang.
you know what I'm
She could have
saying?
just been in her Lisa Ray shit and really liked the color red.
She might have, but like but I think like, and again, this is hearsay, so to speak, but like I'm sure like people have had run-ins with her where like she chased them, or you know what I mean, yelled at them, and like she just was very not personable. It wasn't like she wasn't a pleasant old woman. Like
Mm-hmm.
she looked mean, and kind of she looked kind of scary, like like maybe evil. But again, her house was it was an eyesore, and it just had all this weird red stuff. I feel like there was duct tape on the window. It was all type of like, so nobody knew what was going on. Yeah, I mean, over
Yeah.
there. So that was the one thing. So, but yeah, if y'all grew on the south side of town, like, yeah, I mean, Pine Street, College Avenue area. Y'all remember Miss Hooker. Y'all remember Miss Hooker. And I need y'all to leave a comment in the comment section, and tell me a story if you have one about a run-in with this old woman that I'm talking about. So but
It's
yeah,
funny how you become an adult though and you look at things differently.
yeah, because she could have just been,
Men manic.
she could have been, yeah, she could have been on some shit. Yeah, yeah, you're right. So, all right, so the thing is, this is like happening in the suburbs, right? So really
Right.
nice neighborhoods and stuff like that. So when the new family moves in, the main guy, Torrence, he becomes like enamored with the young girl that lives there. You know what I mean? They both go to high school. Her name was Lisa, and he seemed to be smitten by her, and he kind of liked her, and everything like that. And then I don't know, like where I guess you kind of can take it away. Like what I guess are we kind of summarizing? Or are we just gonna kind of dive into it? Like, cause I just thought like even that, like him being like he's like a voyeur, like he's like looking at
Yeah,
them
so
with the
he was looking
binoculars.
in the yeah, he was because his window faced their house and he could see a lot of their windows. And he would just be with his what are those binoculars? And he would
Yeah,
just be looking in. And so he talks about that memory with the girl Jennifer when he was little. He probably was like 6, 7. He was really little.
yeah,
But like he shows, them little light up things that you used to put in. He shows him showing her a heart. And then she shows back a smiley face and then she just disappears like somebody dragged her type.
yeah,
So so then when Lisa moves in, he's still doing his voyeur shit.
yeah,
And he like is really like likes the girl. I don't know if he really likes her, if he's just being Captain Save-A-Ho. She was
yeah,
kind of like different. She was kind of gothicy,
yeah,
you know. So one day he does her homework and she's like, oh, you want to, she used to smoke cigarettes. So she's like, oh,
yeah,
you want to hit this? And then they just start kissing
Yeah.
by her shed. And then her
Oh,
dad comes home
yes,
and she's
yes.
like, "You got to get out of here." And she just leaves him and runs.
Yeah.
He's stuck in the shed. And then he goes underneath. What did he go underneath?
It looked like it might have been like a work
A
table
work
or something
desk.
like yeah,
Yeah, like a
desk work.
wooden thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then you just see dad with this duffel bag of something in it that's blood ridden, and the
Blood.
blood is just, spreading across the concrete. And did they show how he got out of that?
No, no, they kind well, I guess the dad eventually leaves, whatever. Yeah, I mean, and I think
Yeah.
he must have just slipped out, whatever. But yeah, like definitely Lisa was creating this ominous like feeling by her dad, like one shook, yeah, I mean, because she's probably smoking cigarettes, but also now that you think because she's smoking cigarettes, but also because she's kissing this boy, right? So she's like, yo,
Right.
you got to get out of here because if my dad catches you, like he's gonna kill you. And once he sees this bloody duffel bag next to him, like while he's laying down trying to hide, whatever, I think it triggered in his head, like, yo,
Yeah.
this dude is on some shit. And like, why do you have a bag of bloody whatever? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
But he did, but prior to that, he did already hear noises from the house. And he did, with his binoculars, he seen dad holding up animals and killing them.
yeah,
So in the attic. So
yeah.
he's seen all of that. So I don't know what was going in his head. But so then we turn to like later on, and he just pops up in her room.
Yeah, like so they made it seem like he was just having like he was just well, that's what he said. He was hearing the noises, and then he went up to his parents, and he was just like, yo, are y'all how are y'all not hearing this stuff, whatever? And they're like, come on, man, like relax, man. They
Yeah.
let those people move in, and almost like ignoring him and kind of pushing him to the side, whatever. And so he keeps talking about this. So he made it seem like he was having dreams that like things were like bad things were happening. So he just kind of, and again, suburbs, whatever. Maybe this is possible because people be leaving their doors unlocked and things like that. This dude like walks into their house and he tries to like, I guess he's wondering if something's wrong with her. He goes into her room and he's just like, you got to see what you got to understand what I saw, this and that. Like, yo, we got to get you some help. And then again, there's another moment where she's like, yo, you got to get out of here because if my dad catches you, he's going to kill you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the dad hears her talking.
Yeah, he hears her talking, and then he moseys his way into a room, and that's where he finds all this like these dead, bloody animals, some hanging from the ceiling. So then I'm thinking like, yo, is this dude like is he sadistic? Is he like a amateur taxidermist? You know what I mean? Like, is he making like skins and weird stuff, or is he on some like animal cruelty?
Yeah, because they said the dad was a dentist in the
Yeah,
beginning. So that also throws it off because it's like,
yeah,
what?
yeah.
You're home all the time killing these animals and stuff.
That's what I'm saying. Like you have a respectable job, whatever, like a
And those
career.
do be the ones though, now I think about it.
Well, and then this dude, because he did say he described the dad as really big. Yo, that dude was jacked. Like at least the actor that they had playing him, he was
Mm-hmm.
like man, muscular and just like look kind of crazy. Like he did look kind of crazy. And so apparently the dad catches him in this room with all this stuff, and then it's like a blackout, and then apparently he's like tied to a chair. Now I don't like. Do you think that happened? Like him being stuck to the chair, and then the dad like threatening him with the drill. Like
I
is
think
that
that might be dramatized. Is that how do you say it?
dramatized?
Dramatized, yeah.
Dramatized. Okay. And then the girl was able to distract him, and he was able to get out of there.
And he goes home, but then that's the confusing part because then we just see the mom, Lisa, and the sister trapping themselves in the room.
Yeah.
Oh, and we missed the part where she had hit him with like a needle.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's
So
how
he's
she
banging on the door and he's
yeah.
like, she hit me with a needle. And they're just like putting a dresser in front of the door. All the three, ladies of the house, they're putting a dresser in front of the door. And so he's back at his house. And then next thing you know, the daughters are
The
running over.
daughters. Yes, yes.
Yeah, with blood all over them.
Covered in blood. Covered in
Mm-hmm.
blood. And then the weird part though is after that he says he doesn't he sees the dad. The dad like shows up and with a weapon, bloody weapon.
Yeah,
Was it an axe? Was it a knife?
I don't know.
It was a bloody, he had a bloody
It was
weapon,
something. Yeah. And
and
he's just staring.
he's just staring at him at what out of their glass like back door or whatever. And he said, and this is where it gets wishy-washy. This guy gonna say he don't know what happened in the next 3 days, but all he
Yeah, he
knows is
say, but I mean that's kind of realistic because when you go through trauma, that's a realistic thing to forget things.
okay, okay, okay.
So, and he could have very well slept those days off. But like, my thing is, the parents told him, "Oh, they just disappeared again." Your parents ain't gonna tell you what happened. Where did they go back to the house? What happened?
Yeah, like that's what I'm wondering, right? So, but yeah, she said that yeah, the cops came and then they didn't see didn't see the dad, and that family moved,
They
and then
disappeared.
and disappeared, and then his family ended up moving soon after that, whatever. Maybe because this experience kind of creeped them out.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they wanted to get away from, maybe there was some danger and they wanted to get away from him. But it was kind of crazy. And I was like, yo, this is wild. Like if this actually happened, right? So I was gonna go to, yeah, so I got some Reddit posts that I seen because I was like trying to find some information, like, yo, is this even real? Well, the guy is a real person. His name is Dr. Torrence Temple. And that was confusing because you just look up Dr. Torrence, you ain't gonna find nothing. But I looked it up, and so that was his name, Torrence Temple. And let me see what I seen. All right. It says so there's a couple theories. So there's one theory that's saying like maybe Torrance was schizophrenic, right? So that's what they're saying. So this was the first one I said. It said I thought maybe Dr. Torrance has schizophrenia. His friend never confirmed Jennifer or Lisa. So they're talking about I
That
guess
friend,
they
yeah,
like, and they're talking about kind of like comments like that was left on some type of post, and he's saying that like the friend never confirmed Jennifer or Lisa, only that he was afraid of the house. When he brought up that little girl Jennifer, his parents were quite dismissive, just simply stating that she moved. Yeah, it did rattle them to hear him mention it. And when he started talking about the house again, his father got upset. Oh, snap, I zoomed in, my bad. His father got upset and said that his mother was going to find him a professional to talk to because he needed help. I think one of the reasons father got so upset was because they thought they had gotten through this phase and here it was back again. Even the ending where the two sisters run covered in blood, no one's calling the cops or anything. And then he does not remember the next 3 days at all. His parents tell him that the cops come and the family moved away. It may be their coping mechanism to simply dismiss his delusions, yet they have become pronounced enough that it offers enough that others probably notice this and is the true reason why they themselves moved out of the city. So they're saying, they're wondering like maybe he's been hearing things, he's been seeing things, and almost like he's kind of creeping out the people in the neighborhood, and like they felt like they had to get out of there too. So like I don't know, or maybe like no family moved in there at all. You know what I mean? Like
mm-hmm.
it may, like if it's schizophrenia, like if he just keeps constantly saying like stuff about this house, that's an alternate way to look at it. But then that would mean like, yeah, that whole thing, almost like some, if you ever see the movie Fight Club.
Yeah, yep.
So like the
And that
whole
guy
thing,
was in
the
his
whole
head.
thing,
Yeah,
like he was just in his head the whole time. So like almost like something like that, where like none of this is taking place. That would be a schizophrenic thing. But
that would be plausible.
okay,
But the fact that they interview the real person, so we see him like it's like a sit down interview, and it goes back to the dramatized, you know, them playing out the scenes. But he's a very older guy. So I just feel like we would know he's a doctor. Like,
yeah, yeah,
why would we not know by now? Because he looks like he was probably in his 50s.
yeah.
He would have to have some type of diagnosis. Would they even consider doing an episode on that? Because then that's just like, why wouldn't you just do an episode on a lot of schizophrenic delusions? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So, and the fact that he's a doctor, it just gives like doctor gives credible, even though you can have diagnosis, but I don't know. You would think that he wouldn't have this much. Like you can tell he was really shook up when he was
yeah,
talking about.
yeah. Well, and I didn't look up his full credentials. It does say Dr. Torrance Temple. I don't
Yeah,
know if, but he does. I know they say he does a lot of stuff in the educational realm. So he could be a medical doctor or he could be a PhD. You know what I mean? But still
yeah,
credible. You know what I
still
mean?
credible.
Like
Yeah,
yeah, still credible. And yeah, like I think they would kind of mention if he had some type, yeah, like you said, some type of diagnosis of schizophrenia. That, and yeah, it would kind of like
Yeah, he would have
ruin the
had like, because
story.
I'm sure he's seen a professional between those times between the first family and the second family because they were already talking about getting him to see a professional. So
Yeah,
I feel like that would have been, I don't know.
yeah.
Because then he
So
also shows in the beginning, well, for the most of it, the episode, the parents are like, "Oh, you got to let this go." And then towards the end, when the ladies come over to the house,
yeah,
the parents are in it and they're believing it and they're all hugging and they're like hugging. You know what I mean? I don't see that scene playing out if he was really schizophrenic.
yeah. You're right. You're right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And unless again, none of that happened. You know what I'm
Unless it
saying?
was
And and
all in the
and, and
eyes of
maybe and
his
maybe he got
delusion.
admitted, and maybe those 3 days he was being
That is true. That is
maybe, you
true.
know what I mean? So like he don't remember because they sedated his ass, you know what I'm saying? And he woke up
Mm-hmm.
back. I don't know. That's wild. So here's another person's perspective about this. And this might be a little bit more on the nose, whatever. So it says, listen, I've seen enough crazy stuff in my life to buy these stories. He said, I could tell you at least 15 stories that have happened to my family alone that would think that people would think I'm making it up, from haunting to my third cousin finding a bag of human skin in a trash bag in the woods. And it says, so they started talking about the first episode too. They said, I think the first one, Kelly, is an absolutely true story about someone's contact with the other side. He says, but the third one is tough to piece together. It is clearly based on Dr. Torrance's teenage memories. Is he lying? I don't think so. What happened to the first family? It's not clear at all. Lisa's dad, an abusive sociopath, a dentist, an animal killer, and likely sexual, physical abuser to Lisa and her mother. And it says, here it says, not a stretch to believe Dr. Torrance's family clearly didn't want to involve themselves in other people's business.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very waspy. So do you know what that WASP stands for?
No.
So it's an acronym. It means white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, whatever. So those are like not Jewish people. They're like the
Yeah.
true European, rich European, of European descent people. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So it says very waspy. It says, when they heard of the animal skins, they figured Hunter. When he told them about the drill and the chair, they figured their son was getting too close to their daughter, and the dentist used his tools to scare him. How many dads have told the guy seeing their daughter that they would rip his dick off? And it said,
Yeah. That
said
was
the
crazy.
it said the police come. Kennedy has a room full of dead animals, which explains the blood. Weird, yes. Criminal, no. He calmly explains that a punk kid was trying to screw his daughter, and so he scared him. Cops get it and move on. Kennedy realizes his abusive behavior is likely to be exposed if he stays, so he moves. This scenario is far more common than you would expect. The world is dark and broken. Is the house evil? If you believe darkness is drawn to darkness, then yes, whatever. So basically he's saying that, like, yeah, like, rich people, man, they could kind of, one, yeah, if you're rich, like, you do have the means to kind of pick up your family and just like bounce
Mm-hmm.
if you really, really want to, whatever. And like if he was, harming his daughter and or their mother, like, yeah, we got to get out of here because people are in our business. Yeah, I mean, stuff like that.
That
So I don't.
perspective more because as someone that is like into, I used to want to be a criminal profiler and everything. Like was super into serial killers and just like learning about them. So, but they really do be prominent figures in their community. Like they be
Mm,
abusers. They talk about the jobs that you ever hear about the jobs that like had the highest chance of being abusers, like police
yeah,
officers,
yeah,
things like that. So it's like, yeah, that it sounds credible. It sounds like, you know what I mean?
yeah. So haunted, probably not like and I don't think, yeah, the house didn't make
But
them
see,
do it.
no, I think since I'm a spiritual person,
Okay,
it reminds me of at Amityville horrors.
okay, okay, okay.
Because how many houses are in the United States? What is the likelihood that houses would have like murders back to back in one house? Like, because this
Yeah,
isn't the only instance you've ever heard of that. So I really believe in that spiritual, you know what I mean, thing.
okay.
Like sometimes, because this it's just that's not a coincidence at that
Yeah,
point. It's
yeah,
not.
yeah.
There's too many houses, and we have enough houses in the United States for a murder to happen one time in each of them. So, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
not in
yeah,
each of them, but like, you know what I mean? Randomly, not to happen in the same house over and over again. That doesn't
yeah,
make sense.
yeah,
So it just reminded me of in Amityville horror. So I
yeah.
definitely, do
Yo,
you believe something like that could happen?
well, I mean, oh, like basically being in like a place can create some type of aura that kind of can take over like your spirit. I mean, it's possible. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I
I've
mean, I
read.
don't know the logistics behind it, but I feel like that's not a coincidence. Something's
Yeah,
up. Like it
yeah.
makes me raise an eyebrow.
It does, yeah, it definitely does make you raise an eyebrow. I need to talk to somebody like in real estate, but like, do they have to like? I thought there's something like, do they have to disclose that somebody died in the
Only if
location?
they ask.
Really?
Yeah.
So they don't have to like. So
I
so
don't
you
think
so
so. I
you're
think
it.
only if they ask.
So it's in your best interest to ask.
Yeah, like did anything happen?
Did
Yeah.
any foul play? Anybody
Yeah.
die?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. So, yeah. So, do you think so? Covered in blood, like, all right. So, just let's say these girls are covered in blood. Um, did they go into their dad's room? Did their dad hurt the mother? Like, what do you think?
They
What?
hurt the I think he hurt the mother because she was really scared. You never seen her throughout the whole episode.
Yeah,
And yeah, and then they had showed that picture, that family picture. They had like a family painting, and then the lights flicker, and then there's a slash in everybody's face with the dads. So that just told me a little bit, you know what I mean? I don't know. I think he did something to the mom because the mom didn't come over to the house.
nah, the mom was stuck over there. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So,
Yeah, she probably
yeah.
was murdered.
Oh my god, murdered, but like. Yeah, like when see that's the thing though that and that's where people because the Reddit was like people was like no I couldn't find anything about no murders, I couldn't find anything about this, I couldn't find anything about that, so like they thought it was like a bunch of like BS. But
Hmm.
I don't know, can like if because the cops would have had like did they call the like that's the thing too, we don't see them actually call the cops, and because that's what I was thinking too, I was like yo y'all not trying to call the cops, like this guy is at large, you know what I'm saying? Like he could come right over. What's stopping him from breaking up into your crib? You know what I mean? If he actually saw him in the back of the house, like what's stopping him from breaking into your crib and killing y'all? Like I didn't see them, I didn't see no urgent, there was no urgency to do anything. They were just all hugging and stuff like that. And I'm like,
Yeah, that was a little weird. But see, it's plausible that even if they did call the cops, he could talk his way out of it because, white privilege. He's a prominent figure. He just moved there. He's a dentist. He's not like. So that's something that could be easily explainable. Like, oh, my life isn't feeling good. Like we see it all the time. Like there's
yeah,
murders that, you know, people don't discover bodies until decades later. So
yeah,
it's not out of pocket to
yeah.
think.
I don't know, but yeah, I do feel like if something probably did happen, it definitely could be the second person's kind of conclusion where like he was doing something, and then yeah, just they were able to
Yeah.
kind of get up out of there quick, and then his own family was like, yo, we don't want this dude to find us, you know what I mean? Like, so
Hmm.
we gotta get the fuck up out of here. We don't trust Dr. Kennedy and all that type of stuff. So. But yeah, I definitely thought it was this is probably the best episode I thought so far.
Yeah, so far.
So
Yeah,
far,
definitely.
the best episode. And so I am looking forward to watching the next one. The next one is like some type of rabbit man or something. Like so it's if you see the thumbnail for the show Suburban Screams, it's like this guy with this crazy bag looking mask over his head with these like bunny ears. So like it must be some deranged Leatherface type of, you know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
killer type dude. So, but yeah, hopefully, yeah, like, and I've been trying to, yeah, I want to kind of try to do research and try to see if like how much of this stuff is plausible, if we
Right.
can. And this was the first one that happened in the United States because our first two episodes were in
We're in
Canada.
Canada, yeah.
Yeah, so now we get
Did
in
they give us a year though? Because that's another thing. Like we're
86.
in
Was this,
we're in
was,
2023. How are we gonna look up? They can bury it. They can give us the wrong year. You know what I mean? They're
yeah,
very good at doing things like that or finding, random things that is not really on the internet or it wasn't, you know what I mean? Because that has to do with the media and how hot it was at the time. If there was something else that happened during that time, that's a thing that it might have just not hit the media. We
true.
have things that happen all the time that don't hit the media.
That don't hit the media. Yeah, so this was in 1986. That's what it was. So that's 37 years ago. Um, Yeah, definitely plausible. Definitely plausible to hide it, to bury it, for people not to know. Um, hopefully Lisa Kennedy, if you out there, man, hopefully she's alive and well.
Alive and kicking, right?
Yeah, alive and kicking, and your little sister, whatever her name was. But
Have you had any experiences like paranormal experiences ever?
no, I don't think so. I can't recall anything like, like no, not no like door shutting or no, creaking. I don't know. Like, no. Have you had any paranormal experiences?
Yeah.
Do you feel
So
like you
when I
have to
was
do you have to believe it for it to happen, or like does it just happen? And
no, it just
and
happens.
that makes you believe it.
It just happens and it makes you believe it.
Oh
So
shit.
when I was, I want to say 16, maybe either 13 or 16, I don't know. But we went to Ray Myers Hollow. Me and mom had like a best friend. You know, you have that cousin that's like a not really your cousin, but your y'all parents' friends. So I would spend the night at their house and they were like really into horror. I was really into horror. So we went to go see Ray Myers Hollow. You heard about that, right?
Okay.
In New
Yeah.
York. Yeah. So it's a story for y'all that don't know. It's like some witchcraft and someone dies, a house gets burned up. I don't remember specifics. But so we went out there at night and we just like were looking at the property and we were like taking pictures. So we took pictures of the house. We didn't go in the house or anything, but we took pictures of the little like there's a cabin and there's a house. So we took pictures of everything. We didn't see anything when we were taking pictures. So we go back home and we uploaded because this is when we had the cameras and you could upload it to the TV.
Okay.
So we were looking at it and we see a figure in the window, up in the window. Yeah,
Oh.
mind you, this is a house that's in the middle of nowhere. It's a wooden house. It's all burnt up, kind of. So like it's not nobody's living there type shit. But you could tell it wasn't like you could tell it was like a spirit type thing, but it looked like a person.
Okay.
So yeah, that was enough for me to believe. And it was a weird feeling when we were out there.
Okay. Okay. All
It
right.
was.
See, yeah, like I never put myself in too many situations. Like, yeah, so maybe I do believe it, and I'm just like I'm just scared of it, whatever. But like I don't know. I ain't never do no like bloody Mary, close the bathroom door, say Bloody
Oh
Mary,
yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not fucking with
or
that.
you know what I mean, or like Candy Man. And that's the thing. The lady Miss Hooker that I was talking about earlier, that's what she gave you Candy Man vibes. I'm telling you, like she was just
Because it
like,
came.
yeah, the
You are
cane.
ableist.
What's up?
You're ableist.
What do you mean?
Because she had a cane and you over here talking about she gave you
Nah,
candy
bruh.
bear vibes.
Yo, I'm telling yo, people know what I'm talking about. Like, I know she probably murdered somebody. I mean, it's the city. Like, she could have definitely bodied the kid, and then like we wouldn't have known. You know what I mean? So, but so yeah, this is wild. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the next episode. Halloween is right here, you know what I'm saying? Did you do anything this past weekend for Halloween?
Then I was gonna ask you, did you go out to any Halloween parties or anything?
I did not. I sat out this year. Like last year was the first year I dressed up as anything. I did like a couple's costume, and I thought that was cute. That was the first time I dressed up
What
since I
was
was
you?
like so
I don't know if I
so
seen it.
so it's,
Yeah. Hmm.
my shorty was the Statue of Liberty, and then
Yeah.
I was a tourist, and I love that I love that costume because it was contemporary. Like I could still wear my stuff. So I had a I love New York hoodie. I had a New York Yankees
Oh,
hat.
yeah.
I had a fanny pack. It was Supreme fanny pack. But Jordans, and then I had a camera. You know what I mean? So whatever. So I was like taking pictures of her. I was the tourist, like taking
Oh,
pictures.
that's cute.
Yeah, it was a nice idea. She thought of it, whatever. And I was like, yo, this is yeah, like because I don't want to see. That's the thing with costumes. I don't want to put stuff on my face. I'll wear a mask, but I don't want to wear no. Oh, bless you.
Thank you.
I don't want to wear no paint on my face. I don't want to do all that extra like
Yeah.
makeup stuff. And then there's dumbass costumes too. Like I don't want to be a fucking hot dog. You know what I'm saying? Like like why do
No, somebody was just talking on Twitter. They were like, I hate costumes where you have to put up a reference photo. Because, like, you ever see the photos
yeah
where it's
because
like, that's a cool costume for you to post on social media, but I wouldn't know what the fuck you were if you did, if I'd seen you out.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I always thought those are creative though. Those are creative as hell. But I just be like, yeah, like I wouldn't know who you are. Like if you're holding up this photo every time you're seeing somebody, that would be annoying.
Yeah, I don't like that. I feel like it should be someone that's either prominent enough for like, you know what I mean? You would instantly get it if you're gonna, because it's always a person when they do that part.
Yep.
Or Yeah, I don't know. Because there's so many costumes you could be creative.
Yeah. Well, I think they think they are being creative by doing like memes and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, but you would
Mhm.
have to, like I don't know, like the
You have
one,
to act it out, yeah.
yeah, you would have to act it out, whatever.
See, the
So
picture I seen when they said that it was I don't know if you ever watched Insecure, but it's Issa and Nate. So it was just regular.
just looking black folk, like
Yes. So it was just like she was
like
not going to understand that.
yeah. I just seen somebody, it was a picture and she was her costume was Krishan Rock at Walmart, whatever. And like so she had the baby, like and the
That
baby
might
like
be noticeable though. That might be, yeah.
and like
Yeah.
she had like the same outfit, whatever Krishan had on, like, and
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I don't know. Like that's kind of cool, whatever, but like these costumes.
I do
They,
like out of the box costumes. I haven't been able to top the one year everybody loved my costume. I was Tomb Raider. That was like years
hey.
ago. And I haven't really done it. I haven't really gone out since actually. So
Well, Laura Croft was kind of like for a kid, like young boy, like I mean when we like Laura Croft, like even though she was like a character, cartoon character, but then obviously Jennifer Angelina Jolie. So like was it like a sexy Tomb Raider or like was it pretty like
yeah, it
just
was sexy.
tame?
Yeah, it was
Okay,
like
okay,
Angelina Jolie type shit.
okay. How do you
Yeah,
feel
I
about
don't like the cartoon like that.
how do you feel about that? Like women wearing like sexy costumes? Is that like is it just a part of it? You know what I mean?
No,
Um,
I feel like there's a way you could do it. So like my titties and my ass wasn't out, but like it was like a crop top. I didn't have a bra on, so like yeah. But when your whole ass is out, your whole like come on. I seen someone with boo with the white shirt and they had the titties out. You seen that on Twitter?
no.
Yeah, they were just like they put eyes over their nipples and they were just like
What?
bouncing to look like a boo, like a ghost. I'm saying boo,
Wow.
ghost. Yeah, I don't like stuff like that. Like I be finding those costumes corny. Like put something together that's creative. I don't like bunny costumes and shit. Like
Okay.
bitch, come
Yeah.
on. You
Yeah.
could have just not worn nothing.
So yeah, I guess like then if you're wearing that kind of costume, like do most of these women have like boyfriends or does the boyfriend just have to kind of deal with it? You know what I mean, if she is wearing like the
Well, now
slutty
when there's the
costume.
generic costumes, I feel like a bunny and shit like that, like they just put a tail on their butt and ears. They might have a boyfriend, but the real ass out costumes, titties out, I feel like they don't have a man. They're probably hoarders too.
They trying to catch, they trying to
Yeah,
fit. Yeah.
I can't say I've seen someone dressed like a whore that wasn't a whore for Halloween.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like every you can be sexy without looking like a whore, but when your literal ass is out,
Yeah.
like I could touch it. That's I could touch
Okay.
your raw ass. Why
I
are you
get it.
sitting your raw ass down on this public? You're just not going. You gonna stand on it?
Yeah, yeah, you gonna stay tonight. That's funny. That's funny. So yeah, so maybe next year, 2024, I'll get back out there and participate. Did you do any like haunted attractions or anything this year?
And I've been real dry this year because I just been so overwhelmed with school and everything.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
gonna take my kids trick or treating Tuesday, and that is a wrap.
Yep, yep. We putting a fork in this and yeah, calling it a day, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
after
we'll
Tuesday.
be
So
back next year.
yeah, we back. Yep, definitely, definitely. So all right, yeah. Anything else? Anything else? Scary related.
Mm-mm.
All right, that's what's up. That's what's up. So, yo, if y'all still watching this episode, I need y'all to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and make sure, go if you got access to Peacock, make sure you go catch the next episode, and you can kind of follow along with us and hear us talking about it. But yeah, we're talking about John Carpenter's Suburban Screams, available on Peacock. I think all the episodes are currently out, but again, we're gonna give y'all a recap of episode 4 next week. And yeah, this is your boy Los Dev. This is Jonni, and this is another episode of 280 Plus bonus episode recap. So I'll see y'all. Peace.